Hi, welcome back, family. Hi, sis.
Hi. Hi.
We're on review lesson 210, and our sister has lovingly volunteered to take the lead on this one. Go for it, sis.
Yeah, another one of my favorite lessons, yeah. So 210 is, I am not a body, I am free, for I am still as God created me. So I haven't gone anywhere, have I?
No.
And you haven't either.
No.
Okay. Regardless of great temptations to perceive that something is wrong, you know, like the ego is always trying to what's the word, seduce us into believing something is wrong.
Through our physical senses.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
For I am still as God created me, which is perfectly innocent. And that's it.
Yeah.
That's it. The review lesson for today is 190. I choose the joy of God instead of pain. Pain is my own idea. Can we just sit with this for a second?
Yes. Yes.
Pain, physical pain, emotional pain, you know, mental pain, mental illness. Yeah, it's all the same.
Right.
Pain is my own idea, meaning the mythical me, the false self, the ego's own idea. It is not a thought of God, but one I thought apart from him and from his will.
Mm-hmm.
His will is joy, and only joy for his beloved son. That's you.
Yes.
And that I choose instead of what I made through the ego. I am not a body, I am free, for I am still as God created me. Yeah. So let's just look at this idea of the review lesson. I choose the joy of God instead of pain, because we did mention this before in lesson 190. But if you're like me, when I first read this, if you've just begun, you would have forgotten it already. Yeah, that's why we need so much repetition with these lessons. Recall that the ego's fundamental wish is to be unfairly treated. That's the core of its wish, is to be unfairly treated. So it continues to project the illusion that we're separate, that we're vulnerable, and that we can be easily attacked. Okay? So I've got a couple of points here, sis, that I would like for us to flesh out. So
sure.
they stick, if we could. So, you know, that the desire to be unfairly treated is so deeply unconscious until we begin to undo the sense of mythical me and the gap in the gap diagram, right? So, you know, that's our attraction to guilt right there. And what we tend to do is we escalate this unconscious guilt and the desire to be unfairly treated as a consequence by trying to problem solve without Holy Spirit. That's a big one. And when you think about it, we're mentally trying to do that, you know, if like in an hour, maybe a few times in an hour. Sis, would you say that?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. And then interspersed with those thoughts of trying to problem solve apart from Holy Spirit, we're planning how to complete mythical me, or how to seek pleasure, our own personal self-gratification, apart from God, apart from spirit, and we're secretly planning it. Right? How much of the day are thoughts, passing through, not even passing through, because they're like Velcro. We stick and we go, yes, I like that thought, right? Okay. And in all of this, which is problem solving without spirit and seeking pleasure apart from Holy Spirit, we mistake this for joy. We really do, right? Yet the truth is that pain and pleasure are the same. And, through the ego, they are the same. And the reason they're the same is because they serve the exact same purpose through the ego, which is to try to prove to us that we are the body.
That's it.
Right?
Yes.
So the purpose of trying to prove that we are the body is made to totally eclipse the memory that we are invulnerable spirit, immune to everything the ego ever made to try to dupe us into believing that we could be attacked or threatened in any way, shape, right?
Yes.
Do you want to add to that, sis?
No, you beautifully stated that. And I was thinking more in terms of, physical pain as being the key primary witness to the lie that we are the body. It's the greatest advocate for this belief that I am not the Christ. I am a mortal in a body, and that the body can attack me unbeknownst to myself. So that's the thing. It's like, oh, I'm hurting, and I wonder what caused that. We're never being radically honest. And right here in, if I may, paragraph 5 and 6 in this lesson of 190, he says, it is your thoughts alone that cause you pain. Nothing external to your mind can hurt or injure you in any way. There is no cause beyond yourself that can reach down and bring oppression. No one but yourself affects you. There's nothing in the world which has the power to make you ill or sad or weak or frail. But it is you who have the power to dominate all things you see by merely recognizing what you are. As you perceive the harmlessness in them, they will accept your holy will as theirs. And what was seen as fearful now becomes a source of innocence and holiness. My brother, think of this a while. The world you see does nothing. It has no effects at all. It merely represents your thoughts, and it will change entirely as you elect to change your mind and choose the joy of God as what you really want. Your holy self is radiant in this holy joy, unchanged, unchanging, and unchangeable forever and forever. And would you deny a little corner of your mind its own inheritance and keep it as a hospital for pain, a sickly place where living things must come at last to die? So again, the world does nothing. Nothing can happen to the mind that we are. But this election to not know yourself as you are and to mistakenly accept your identity as mythical me, as housed within a body under laws that you have no control over, where pain and sickness can come up and snatch your joy and your peace away, at some random moment. We need to take accountability back and simply recognize all sickness and all pain, all limitation, all dis-ease is a intentional decision on our part not to know ourselves and to play the story out. And at any moment, if this was a choice, we can choose again. It's not overwhelming. It really is. You do have the power of choice, and when we recognize it was a choice, it loses all power. It doesn't become this thing that we can't override. it's nothing, and we give it all the life that it has, making it something, but we can reduce it back to the nothing in the realization and acceptance that we are still as God created us. I am not this body. I'm choosing to know myself as I am. Pain has no power to bind us when we release the desire for it. It truly is a choice. It can end in a second. He says there's no form that pain can take that forgiveness and acceptance of what we really are won't heal or correct.
Thank you, sis. Yeah, and that comes as during the journey of our transfer of trust from fear to love. Because we still believe we are mythical me, and we still believe in the past, the past caused the now,
Yes,
that we're victims of the past, that we are a body. While we mistakenly believe these things, and we believe that the world is not neutral, the world we see, that it's not causeless. There's lots of cause in the world, cause in the body. It's left its source, our mind, and can come and attack us. Well, while all of that's happening, we're believing in fear.
That's it. Because
we believe we're still guilty and deserving of punishment. Right.
So that whole thing you just described, this whole gap is predicated on fear. Everything that's in it. Yeah.
So, there's a transfer of trust that occurs. That's the only reason we have time.
Yes. That's the only right use of time.
Right use of time.
Yeah.
And so as our trust increases, that's when we're going to have the felt experience and knowing of our holy self. And the holy self, which is the spirit of what we are, the only truth of what we are, is going to begin to eclipse the idea of mythical me.
Right.
And in that experience, then, we're going to participate a lot more boldly when the ego tries to tempt us with pain in any form, to declare what we are. We are the holy self, the Christ. We are not the body. Right? And that comes with an increase of love, which also includes an increase of trust.
Right. Yeah. So we will continue to make choices for sickness and pain and victimization while we still think that the gap has something of value, but that transfer of trust comes when we have that contrast, when we experience something better, right? That no longer has, the gap no longer has an attraction for us. And it's also a good reminder, recall, the body is not actual. There is no physical matter-based body. The body is an image in your mind. The body that you think you are is actually an image in your mind. It's the other way around. So it's neutral, it's there, and you use it according to which program you've got governing it. Is it the ego, and are you using the body for separation and attack? Well, then it suffers and dies. Are you allowing the divine mind, Holy Spirit, to govern the body? Well, then it's used as a communication device for holiness and true union until its function is complete. Death never enters the picture. Right. So again, that is why pain is nothing. It's a choice because you've placed the body under the ego, which says this body is it houses you, and it's weak and it's vulnerable, and it can be attacked through pain and illness at any random moment, and you will suffer until you die. That's its laws, but that's not actual. That's just illusion. So you can withdraw, and you can allow the body to serve God's will, not the ego.
Yeah. Okay, that's wonderful. Yeah, thank you. It's really a journey and a half, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah. What I'm noticing is in the early stages of our development of trust, we really believe, our conviction lies in believing that the body is real and that the world is real, and that they're being done to us, not by us, right?
That's right. Yes.
Yeah. So it's kind of a little difficult to take these teachings in when we already are filled to the brim with mistaken beliefs like that, right? Okay. So it is a process. That's all I'm saying. Yeah.
And it is a choice. You know, he says, heaven is a decision I must make. Since this was a choice, we have to choose again. Holy Spirit will not just come in and overturn or trespass on the choice we made in our mind. It waits on our invitation. That would be the only seeming power that we have here in the dream. And he says here, lay down your arms and come without defense into the quiet place where heaven's peace holds all things still at last. Lay down all thoughts of danger and of fear. Let no attack enter with you. Lay down the cruel sword of judgment that you hold against your throat, and put aside the withering assaults with which you seek to hide your holiness. Here you will understand there is no pain. Here does the joy of God belong to you. This is the day when it is given you to realize the lesson which contains all of salvation's power. It is this: pain is illusion, joy, reality. Pain is but sleep. Joy is awakening. Pain is deception. Joy alone is truth. And so again, we make the only choice that ever can be made. We choose between illusions and the truth, or pain and joy, or hell and heaven. Let our gratitude unto our teacher fill our hearts, as we are free to choose our joy instead of pain, our holiness in place of sin, the peace of God instead of conflict, and the light of heaven over the darkness of the world. There is a reason for great gratitude, that we really are still as God created us. We'd never actually touched reality. This was a choice for madness, temporary, and that we can choose again, that our perfection, our holiness, and our home has been held perfectly in trust for us for our choosing to come home. Thank God we didn't pull off what we thought we did.
That's true. And there are no degrees of that either.
Right.
Right? Because the ego says there are. In any holy instant, we could accept his grace, his healing. Yes. It's already done. And it's over.
That's right. Thank you. It is done. He has overcome the world. The world is not. Only a wish to prolong something that was overturned long ago in a split second. Why? Why did we think this was a good idea, sis?
Yeah.
What was that about? Tiny mad idea. I lost my mind for a second. Anyway.
Just for a second, split second, right?
Split second.
You know, I remember that dream where I heard Jesus' voice very, very clearly saying to me, and it was just recently, awareness of dreaming is your soul function, your real function.
Yeah.
Awareness of dreaming.
Because then there's nothing else to do but to choose to awaken. You don't have to go into it. You don't have to understand it. You don't have to fight it. You don't have to strive to be something. It's just the choice that this, I don't want this anymore. He says one person that says, I don't have any use for this anymore. It will leave you.
Right. So this is from my own experience, and I'm seeing it very clearly lately, which is great, is I've used physical pain, and emotional pain, right? Not anymore, but I've used physical pain greatly as a defense against the truth.
Mm-hmm.
Not just the truth, but against the love that I am.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Truth and love.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes.
So it's in the recognition, the heartfelt recognition while I'm in pain, that I don't want to use this pain as a defense against the truth and the love that I am. I don't want it anymore. That is when I give Holy Spirit permission to restore my mind to true perception, right?
That's it.
And the light comes into my mind. And because the light is in my mind then, and because the body dwells in my mind as well, and they're separate,
right,
the body is lit with light as well, or the idea. Remember that the body's not. It's not.
A mind that is healed by the influx of light. Healing is the removal of fear. So when the light dawns in the mind is healed, and that mind cannot project sickness, which is fear. There's no fear left to project outward. So it only looks upon itself: loveliness, wholeness, harmony, peace, abundance, perfection. Yeah. Thanks, sis. Yeah, that's really important. All defenses really just prevent us from knowing the love that we are, because if we were to know love, which is inclusive, this whole thought of separation would have to go.
And is that what we're fearful of losing?
Only if we think mythical me has some value. That's why we wouldn't consent. That's why we hug our defenses to us, because we know that in a moment of true union, separation would be seen as the impossibility that it is. Yeah. How terrified we are of our brothers. Don't get too close. Don't join with me. Yeah. Thanks, sis. Great lesson. It is a choice, you guys. It is it's an intentional choice. I choose the joy of God instead of pain.
That gives him instant permission to remove it.
That's it. Yeah. All right. Don't delay. Love you guys. Thanks for being here. Thanks, sis, for reading.